G'day, fuckheads. It's been a seriously busy week. I won another martial arts tournament, I've been self-renovating my house, and I went to 3 different parties this week and didn't touch alcohol at any of them, so I'm currently covered in bruises, paint, and a desperate craving for beer. The more videos I release, the more connected to you guys I feel. It's like a human experiment. So when everyone starts requesting Mongolians on speed bikes, I was a bit like, what the fuck, but sure. Because at the end of the day, I am a dirty view whore, and if I don't pay the bills, I am fucked. Kinda makes you wonder why they are called white scars. Why not speed scars, or just yellow scars? Perhaps today's dive in their backstory, Primarch, and current lore will help us discover what is actually going on with these white skin wannabes. Strap yourselves in and prepare to invade China, because we're about to go fast. Let's get into it. The Yellow Scars are one of the 20 initial Space Marine legions handcrafted by the Emperor to liberate the galaxy via mass war and genocide. They acted as nomads and scouts who went ahead of the Imperial armies to scout out and sabotage potential threats. The Space Mongolians would say this is due to their emphasis on speed and lightning strike attacks, which make them ideal scouts, but I reckon the Emperor just wanted them to fuck off away from the rest of the fleet due to his deep seething hatred of Asians. The speedsters were unique in the way that they broke up their legion into hundreds of small clusters that spread throughout the galaxy to see what horrors awaited the Imperium. Hence they did not really engage in some of the larger or more epic scale conflicts which get the Warhammer community's dick hard. Well, they did, but not initially. Even if they did participate, it would only be a few clusters at most, hence if you're going to see them in any cool artwork prior their Primarch appearing, it would be in the background of a shot of a cool Ultramarine. If, you can have a thing such as a cool Ultramarine. They became so independent that they refused to call for assistance, even against impossible odds, which weren't actually impossible because they ended up winning anyway. Slowly but surely the scarred whites were grinded down until the brink of extinction, as they would prefer to die in their own terms rather than retreat to recoup their massive losses. But then Big Dick Jagatai Khan was discovered. But Jagatai, or the Khan as I'll now refer to him because I can't be fucked with his name, was such a sick cunt that he was the only one of the Asians in the galaxy with a big penis. As we know by now, when the Emperor created his Primarchs, the gods of chaos were like, oh shit, and yeeted the baby Primarchs across the galaxy. The Khan landing on a planet called Chagoris, which was a pretty boring planet, to be honest. Its technology level is roughly around the Renaissance era. The Khan was adopted by a chieftain of one of the nomadic tribes in the planet. Like all Primarchs, the Khan grew into a mighty warrior and leader. When the Khan's adoptive father was killed by a rival chieftain, the Khan was pretty salty about it. Traditionally, when a chieftain dies, his son will go kill some bitches, steal some horses, and then call it a day. But not motherfucking Khan, who proceeds to massacre the entire family of the rival chieftain and completely decimate his tribe, gaining a pretty scary reputation in the process. The Khan was like, fuck the government. Oh, sorry, I need to say it correctly. Fuck the government. Is that how Asians sound? Probably. And decided to unite all the nomadic tribes into one legendary force so they could overthrow the oppressive regime. The Khan would go to a tribe and basically just say, join or die. That's my Timmy voice, sorry. Join or die. That's my new Khan voice. And then, 9 times out of 10 the tribe would join him happily. On the 1 times out of 10 where they wouldn't, they would die horrifically. This continued until the Khan had united all the nomadic tribes into one super Mongolian army that not even the Great Wall of China could have withstood. Once united, the Khan's army took on a massive Chaos Cultist army and skull-fucked them to death. Sometime later, the Khan was trapped by an avalanche and ambushed by soldiers belonging to the planet's ruling government. The Khan easily massacred the entire ambush party, bar one, and forced the only survivor to return home and tell them what happened. The government, called the Palatine, mustered a large force of armoured soldiers and met the Khan in battle. But this is a motherfucking Primarch we're talking about, so the Khan and his light horses were able to easily smash the Palatine army. Only 20 years from that battle, the Khan then beat everyone and took over the entire planet. Fair enough. Only 6 months after becoming the king of his world, the Emperor came along and was like, yeah, good shit, son. Sucks that you're Asian, but a Primarch is a Primarch. Now kneel before me and become my bitch. The Khan obviously, wasn't super stoked about once again having to become a servant only months after being crowned a king, but this is the God Emperor of mankind we're talking about, so you can't really say no. The Khan was used to fighting with sword and horse. He was unfamiliar with the history of the Imperium as well as the advanced weaponry that it had. Despite this, the Emperor was like, if he can conquer a planet, he can conquer a galaxy, and he just let him take instant command of the 5th Legion, despite Dorn and Gulliman's valid objections. The Khan's first order was to recall all his warriors out in the galaxy to come meet him back on his home planet of Chagoris. While they were returning, he then also began creating more Space Marines, using his own warriors from his home planet as the victims, and yes, I do say victims. Becoming a Space Marine, as we discussed last video, means becoming autistic, and that sucks. After about a decade had passed or so, there was a bunch of Space Marines that were now gathered on Chagoris, new and old, and they all belonged to the 5th Legion. But they were completely ununified, and there was absolutely no camaraderie to be had. Remember, these Marines had broken into small clusters, hence every cluster was very independent of each other, and they also were independent of these new Space Marine White Scars. The Khan was like, fuck, how do I get everyone to join and unite? Oh, I got it. And he decided, I swear to God my voice changes every time I try and do Chinese. I should be good at it, there's so many fucking Chinese people in Australia. And he decided that if everyone just low-key stabbed themselves in the face, they could all be friends. So yeah, everybody shanked themselves in the face. And then from then on they were called the White Scars, because they stabbed themselves in the face. But obviously stabbing yourself in the face isn't the best way to unify people, so the Khan then led his legion to attack a seriously fucked up star system full of renegades, Xenos and Jews. Only through teamwork would the White Scars be able to achieve victory. This, coupled with the fact that the Khan personally led every single battle and charge, meant that the White Scars finally united after subjugating the system. The White Scars developed into a ruthless, random and merciless force that would massacre the enemy at their weakest positions. Unlike Angron's or Lehman's retarded Rage Marines, the White Scars had discipline and a code of honor that they did not deviate from. As the White Scars employed such an unpredictable and vicious approach to battle, many of the other legions shunned them and did little to engage with them. Not that the Khan really gave a fuck, like him, Magnus and Vulcan were the only non-white Primarchs, so it was expected to have some kind of tension there. Ironically, their collective status as a minority built a friendship between Magnus and Khan. Jagadai also built a friendship with Horus and Sanguinius because apparently everyone was friends with Horus and our beloved Hawkboy. As mankind continued to fist the galaxy, the White Scars were becoming more and more obsolete. The Imperium was the dominant force in the galaxy, and there were less and less hunting grounds or scouting locations for the Khan and his sons to do battle on. There was less scouting to be done and less enemies to kill, and the Khan wasn't super stoked about this. The Khan realized that soon his legion would be dismantled and useless, maybe exterminated. He began to consider the option of betraying the Imperium, and being freed to raid and pillage the galaxy as he had done once before. The White Scars also grew resentful for the disdain that most legions showed towards them. Only the Thousand Sons and Lunar Wolves enjoyed their company, who, as we know by now, all turned out to be fucking heretics. So you're probably thinking by now, wait a minute, the Khan doesn't like being a servant, he believes his legion will soon be disposed of, and his two closest brothers end up as servants of chaos. How did our yellow boy not fall? Well, he nearly did fall, but also not really. I'll get to that. With Psychers becoming more prevalent in the galaxy, the Emperor called all his Primarchs together in a small council, which would decide the use of Psychers in the Imperium. The Khan was actually all for having Psychers, and even had his own contingent of Psychers called Stormseers. However, he foolishly trusted Magnus to speak for the Psychers, and as we know, Magnus is an autistic little fuck that sounds like a school shooter, so he kind of put everyone off with his rant about how he should be allowed to use demon magic and shit. So Psychers were henceforth outlawed, once again to the dismay of the Khan. At this point, no one has more reason to break away from the Imperium as the Khan does. So when Horus went all bold cunt fuckface mode and turned traitor, along with Mortarion, Curse, Fulgrim, Angron, Lorga, Alfaris and Amigon, and Perty, but no one gives a shit about him, the Khan was faced with a unique opportunity. His legion was extremely removed from the rest of the galaxy, and he began to be bombarded with lots of contradictory messages when the Horus heresy broke out. Some said that Lehman had turned traitor and murdered Magnus, while others ordered him to return to Terra to help Dawn prepare his defences. Even more messages came in declaring Ferris had killed Fulgrim, despite the opposite being the case. The Khan was notably confused and was like, "Fucking be consistent, you stupid cunts!" He received orders from Horus to attack the Space Wolf fleet, but he held back until he could figure out what was actually going on, making the Khan one of the most sensible people in the entire fucking galaxy. Suddenly the Space Wolf fleet was attacked by the Alpha Legion, but in his confusion and not wishing to help the wrong side, the Khan was like, "Good luck, Lehman," and just ditched him. More and more messages flooded in, until he was like, "Fuck this, I'ma do my own shit," and ignored everyone and went straight to Prospero, which is Magnus's planet, to suss out if Lehman had in fact, murdered Magnus. He wrecked an Alpha Legion's fleet shit along the way, which kind of, put him on the loyalist side for now. They landed at Prospero and were promptly victims of an attempted rape by insect ghosts. The Khan fell in a long-ass shithole, and he found a shard of Magnus, who was kind enough to fill him in on everything that happened, before the Khan, was kind enough to destroy the shard. Meanwhile, a small faction of influential White Scars loyal to Horus attempted to seize the fleet and force the Khan's hand in joining the traitor legions. Hence a massive battle occurred on the capital ships of the White Scars, as the loyalists and traitor faction tried to take control. Only the arrival of the Khan would have been able to stop the madness. To make matters worse, a Death Guard fleet had entered the system and beelined straight towards the White Scars, who were too busy dealing with each other to be able to set up a proper defensive position. Back on the surface of Prospero, the Khan had unlocked his Super Saiyan powers and he began raping all the warp bugs to death. Then suddenly Mortarion teleports down to the planet and is like, "Yo Khan, wanna be a traitor?" And the Khan is like, "Suck on my massive yellow dick!" So the two Primarchs fought hard. Mortarion had increased in strength due to the powers of the warp, but the Khan was fast as fuck boy, so the fight was even. Eventually Mortarion backed out and teleported back to his ship in order to help win the space battle above, which deeply pissed off the Khan. The Khan had made his choice. He would fight for the Emperor. He teleported back up to his ship, where the fighting almost instantly stopped as soon as he appeared, especially when the Khan impaled one of his traitor legion commanders like an absolute boss. He then reunited his legion and they drove off the Death Guard together. Now there was a sad little but kind of cute tale weaving into this. The White Scars found a single Thousand Son alive on Prospero and befriended him because the two legions were friends. They then offered him a place amongst the 5th Legion. He thought about it but then refused, saying, "I am a son of Magnus and I am a loyal servant to the Emperor," making him one of the few loyalist Thousand Sons I've heard about. Sadly, the flesh change, a gene flaw in the Thousand Sons, took a hold of the loyalist son of Magnus. He used the last of his power to guide the White Scars home, only to be saved by Malkador, who transformed him into Janus by, shoving a fucking shard of Magnus up his ass or some shit. And Janus then became the first Grandmaster of the Grey Knights, and the noble shard of Magnus the Red. Pretty fucking cool. The Khan fought the battle at Terra, taking a less direct role than Rogel and Sanguinius, but nonetheless he fucked shit up, being a main contributor to Loyalist victory. He was also great at hunting down and massacring the retreating traitor scum, so there's that. Yippee, the White Scars survived the heresy with their Primarch intact. However, like the other Loyalist Primarchs, the Khan was afflicted with autism and disappeared from the galaxy, chasing a bunch of Dark Elder into the Webway. That was 10,000 years ago. What the fuck, dude, you had a job to do. There is a theory that the elder god of tricks and memes is currently holding on to him due to a strange obsession he has with the Khan. It's even theorized that the Khan was supposed to become a traitor and Fulgrim to remain loyal. The Emperor was extremely overly suspicious of the Khan, yet loved Fulgrim and gave him many honors. It seemed like the elder god of memes directly influenced which planet these two Primarchs would land on in order to mess with which Primarch goes traitor and which did not. Motive unclear, but he is the god of memes, so it was probably just to fuck with everyone. And that pretty much has us caught up, guys. The White Scars continue to uphold their face-stabbing traditions, as well as make their obsession with making their ships go fast as fuck. They continue serving the Imperium, hoping one day their glorious Yellow Overlord returns to speed his way to glory. In parting, I'll give you my favourite interaction involving the Khan and Fulgrim. I heard from a contact on Mars, Jagatai, that you do strange things to your ships. The Khan shot him a heavy-lidded stare. I heard you do strange things to your warriors. Biggest fucking burn in 40k. Subscribe for more lore accurate bullshit, and please consider joining the Discord for more memes and shit times. If you want to help me pay my bills, Patreon also helps me out a fuckload. Plus there's quite a few pictures of tits on there as well, which is, always good. Cheers for watching, cunts. Peace.